What's up, brothers? Hope everybody's doing well out there. The title of this video is Women Will Punish Emotional Men. And the reason why I want to make this video is because there seems to be a lot of confusion out there in the manosphere. You know, a lot of guys are teaching you never be vulnerable with a woman. Never open up to a woman. If you express your emotions to a woman, she's going to leave you. And I have to say, in modern society, I do understand where they're coming from when they say that, but it's not entirely accurate. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of overly emotional men out there. Might be a little bit too much soy, if you know what I mean. But by the same token, I don't want you guys to turn into non-emotional robo-cucks that sit back and watch your girl get taken by another man. That's not a good look either. And you know what I mean by that. Now anyways, the first thing I want you guys to understand and internalize this, understand it, and just accept it. There has never been a time in world history when women have not fucked the winners and completely ignored the losers. That's human evolution. That's the way it works. That's hypergamy. That's intersexual dynamics. Call it what you want. It is what it is. We just have to deal with it. Now, furthermore, let's go into details about the subject, about women punishing emotional men. I want to talk about where this comes from and why so many men express their emotions in the wrong way. Because understand this, women aren't turned off by emotionally strong men. They're turned off by emotionally weak men. That's the difference. So you should be a normal man with normal emotions, but you have to be emotionally strong, not emotionally weak. Now, what would cause an emotionally weak man? You know, men are naturally stoic. We're high testosterone. You know, we're men. We are fucking men. What would cause a man to be emotionally weak? Well, here's my take on this subject. You know, it takes a man and a woman to create a child. It takes a mother and a father to raise a child. And if that child doesn't have both a mother and a father, he's at a massive disadvantage, right? We all know that. But I don't think we go fully in depth about the emotional maturity of somebody that doesn't have that privilege. The way a father shows love to a son, and this is mostly for the guys out there, so, you know, they show love differently to daughters, but we're talking about the sons in today's video. And the reason why I'm going down this path is because when a man enters the dating market and he has very little experience, he's going to project and he's going to express himself the same way his parents express themselves to him, because that's all he knows. So, the way a father shows his love to his son is, he says, get your ass home by 3 o'clock. You have chores to do. Get your homework done by 5. I want you to be at the dinner table at 5:30. You can do whatever you want from 5:30 to 8, but I want you back home by 8, and I want you in bed by 9 o'clock. Maybe not exactly like that, but that's the way a father expresses his love to his son. Okay? Don't get me wrong. He might be at every football game. He might make sure he has a car when he's old enough to drive. He might hook him up with his first job when he's old enough to work. He'll give him father-to-son talks and lead him in the right direction. But a father shows his love to his son by setting boundaries, building character, and raising him to be a strong man. The way a mother expresses her emotions and her love to her son is by verbally telling him that she loves him, hugging him, holding him, coddling him. But by the same token, spazzing out on him, going crazy on him, screaming at him. And this can be confusing to a young man, right? Now, when you have a two-parent household, it seems to work out, right? Because you've got the father in the house, you've got the mother in the house. They both provide a different type of love. The father is more strict, more guidance-oriented. The mother is more nurturing and more, emotionally soft. She's oriented to be affectionate and loving. And it works. There's balance in the household. And when that man enters the dating market, that young man, he can go out there and basically mimic his father. You can say, okay, this is how a man shows love. He establishes boundaries. He's not weak. He says, here's how it needs to be done. If it's done this way, you're safe, I'm safe, the relationship's safe. You're not cheating, I'm not cheating. You're not dead, I'm not dead. We're both here, we're both safe, we're both good. And then sure, when those expectations are met, he can express his emotions. You don't have to be a robot. A man can tell a woman he loves her out of strength. When she's had a bad day, he can say, come here, baby, I love you. And he can make love to her by the fire. But it's different, right? Now, a man that was raised, which most men out there, most single guys out there, I should say, I would say most married guys probably have a father in the house, but most single guys were raised by single mothers. So the only example of love and affection that they've ever seen is being coddled, being, emotionally needy and clingy, and by the same token, spazzing out, being a little bit unhinged, going crazy because there's a couple dishes in the sink, going crazy because somebody tracked dirt on the floor, some shit like that, right? So that's all he knows. So this guy, when he goes out there in the dating market, that's how he behaves, right? He meets women, and I'll give you an example. Maybe he meets a woman that sees him. He's a man, right? He's big, he's strong, he has a deep voice, he looks like a man, he walks like a man. From the outside, he seems like a solid man, and she really likes him. And then she gets with him, and he becomes this weak guy. It's at this very moment he goes from being a strong man in her eyes to a weak man that expresses himself by always telling her how much he loves her and he misses her and he needs her and he can't live without her, and he's jealous every time she speaks to another man, and so on and so forth. And he's basically turned into his mother. That's how he expresses himself, like a female. And that's the majority of guys nowadays. Let's be totally honest. And here's why this is a problem. A man's love is supposed to be one of his greatest strengths. Okay, when you express your love to a woman, it's supposed to get her wet. It's supposed to get her excited. It's supposed to make her feel good. It's the greatest weapon you have in your arsenal. And like I said, if she's had a bad day at work, things aren't going so well, she's crying, she's going crazy, and you tell her you love her and you're there for her, that's what it's used as. It's a weapon. It's strong. You use it as a powerful message to fix the relationship. It's one of your strengths. Whereas the mama's boy uses it, and it's a weakness, right? He uses it because he misses his girlfriend and he's desperate and he's needy. He's coming from a place of weakness. And look, anytime your love is, I should say, anytime your love goes from being your greatest strength to your biggest weakness, you, my friend, have lost all power, all leverage, any masculinity that you had in that relationship, it's all gone. Okay, any authority you had in that relationship, it's all gone. Because now she can manipulate you, now she can walk all over you, she can use you, because you're a pushover and you're weak. And unfortunately, a lot of guys have that disconnect. And, where the position that I've been in here and got to hear so many testimonials from so many different guys, that scenario takes place. And it seems like every young guy out there, they all go through that. They don't understand how to transition from being single to being in a relationship and express themselves like a man is supposed to. They don't understand how to do it. But, it's a dirty job and somebody's got to explain these things to you. So as we close this one out, guys, what I want you to understand is, like we said in the beginning, women hook up with the winners and they ignore the losers. The minute you open up your mouth and she realizes that your pussy's tighter than hers, she knows exactly what she's looking at. She has enough experience to know the difference between a winner and a loser. And the second you open up your mouth and you're a crybaby and you're needy and you're desperate, overly emotional, it's over. I hate to tell you. And when it's over, it's over. Ain't nothing you can do about it. And I don't like to throw salt in wounds, because I know there's probably a lot of guys out there that are currently going through this, but once a woman declares it's over, my friend, she no longer has any sympathy for you. She doesn't care that you're sitting at home crying. She doesn't care what your mental health is like while she's running around with some other guy right there in front of you. She doesn't care about all the memories you guys share from the past. She doesn't care about the ideas you had placed in your head for the future. She doesn't give a damn what you're going through, what you're feeling, how devastated you are, how depressed you are, how heartbroken you are. She does not care. Okay? Because she's moved on. And men don't quite understand this. They don't understand how women can get over men so quickly. Well, I'll tell you what happens. When a woman sees you're emotionally unstable and emotionally weak, and then she's presented with a man who's the opposite, who shows emotional strength, who is a real man, that's the moment that her loyalty shifts from you to him. So it's odd. It's not like she's being disloyal. No, her loyalty's just shifting. She's no longer loyal to you, and she's loyal to him. She is concerned with his emotions. She's concerned with how he's doing, but she's not concerned with how you're doing. And I really don't mean for this to be depressing, but, we have to hit you where it counts if we want it to have the impact that it needs to have in order for you to internalize it and not make the mistake. So always remember, show your love to a woman with strength, with productivity. Men have the burden of performance. They always have, they always will. But that's not what we're talking about right now. What I'm saying is, You show your love by establishing boundaries. What do we mean by this? Well, look, when that relationship begins, there's a lot of outside interference that could screw that relationship up, right? You're not going to put yourself in positions where you're going to cheat on your girlfriend if you're monogamous. If you're an open relationship, that's different. But if you're monogamous, you're not going to put yourself in positions to cheat on her. And you better damn well make sure that she doesn't put herself in positions to cheat on you. Because everyone's capable of cheating. But people that are responsible don't put themselves in positions to. It's kind of like doing drugs. Everybody will say, I'll never get hooked on a drug. Till you start hanging around with drug addicts, then all of a sudden it's a different story. So that's why boundaries are so important. And that's the number one way that a man shows his love to a woman. And look, boundaries and expectations, that's one thing. I can't tell you what boundaries you should establish, but you need to establish them, whatever those are. And number two, understand that when you express your emotions, it's from a place of strength. It's not because you're desperate and you're needy. It's because you want to make her feel better. Or, you want to turn her on. Whatever. She's having a bad day. You go over and you whisper in her ear that you love her and that she looks sexy. Something like that. Boom. Her day is turned around. Now she wants to have sex. So, that's a lot better than, baby, I miss you. I love you so much. Right? That's coming from a position of weakness. And that, my friend, is what you want to avoid. So always remember, it's not that women are turned off by men who express emotions. It's that women are turned off by men who are emotionally weak. But by the same token, they're turned on by men who are emotionally strong. So don't be a robotic, non-emotional cuck. No. Be an emotionally intelligent, emotionally strong man, and you'll do just fine. But hey guys, I hope this video sets you straight. I won't ramble on too much longer. And I hope this video was somewhat informative. But that's about it for today, guys. Until next time, see ya.